Hey guys, what's up? So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly the strategy I use to go from 0 to 30 grand a month with my agency. You're gonna see it's very simple and I'm going to break it down step by step for you. By the way, if you guys don't know me yet, my name is Venant Mohan. I'm the founder of Digital Brothers. I have a marketing agency in France in the info space. We have done more than $65 million in revenue for our clients and more than 13 million euros for us in revenue. And the reason why I'm making this video is just to help you out, to share my knowledge. I don't have anything to sell, at least for now. So yeah, I'm just going to share some wisdom. All right, guys. So the first thing I want you to understand is that you might be a media buyer, a copywriter, a funnel builder, or whatever. The first thing you have to ask yourself is what's the difference between you and a guy in the Philippines on Fiverr or a guy in Pakistan on Upwork or whatever? Because at the end of the day, if the service you're offering is, let's say, funnel building, you are just doing the exact same stuff as other people. And don't tell me some random BS like, oh, I have like more case studies or I can do it faster or cheaper. This is not how you're going to differentiate yourself. Instead, what you want to do first is translate this into solving a real and painful problem within a market. Let's say, for example, I'm doing websites. Okay, I'm doing websites on WordPress and I develop websites. The first thing I'm gonna do is that I'm going to pick a niche. Let's say, for instance, restaurant. Now, if I go for restaurants, way better. I'm a website developer for restaurants, but there are plenty of other agencies doing this. So I need to go one level deeper. I can either go for a specific category of restaurant. For instance, I can specialize myself in doing websites for Chinese restaurants or Indian restaurants or whatever. I can break it down to a specific city, or I can break it down to a specific problem. For instance, I can target restaurants that rely on Deliveroo or Uber Eats or Zomato or whatever for their takeaway or delivery orders, because these guys are paying very high fees. They're paying anything between 10 to 20% to the platform for the delivery, and therefore they're leaving a lot of money on the table. On the other side, I could go for restaurants that have a very high volume of reservations, but also a very high amount of no-shows, meaning that they get a lot of bookings, but actually a very few people showing up. And I can help them automate the booking process and also making sure that people who are actually booking shows up at the restaurant. So you get my point. You just want to identify a niche and a problem you're going to solve. The best way to do this is just to have a chat with your ideal customer and understand the pain points they're currently facing. Now, this brings me to the second step. Once you have identified the problem you can solve, you want to solve the problem from A to Z. What I mean by that is that, let's say you are developing websites, and now let's say you want to help restaurants to actually get a higher show-up rate and more bookings. You don't want to limit yourself to just building the website. You want to make it as easy as possible for the customer to get the website done, meaning that you are going to provide the pictures yourself, you are going to write the copy or the text yourself, you are going to pick the domain names, the colors, the design. You want to make sure you offer a seamless experience to your client. Moreover, and this is the most important thing, once your customer has the website, you want to make sure he understands the value of it. Let's say you have a very nice car, but you keep it in your garage. There is no point having the car, right? Kind of the same with the website. You want to make sure you can send traffic to this website. So you also want to have a solution in your package that will cover that. It might be running ads, it might be SEO, whatever. And now once the website is done, it might need some maintenance, like a car, right? When you have a car, you need to clean it, you need to service the oil, you need to do the checkups. It's the same thing with a website. So you just want to incorporate it in your package. And this is kind of how you will solve a problem from A to Z. So see, at the end of the day, I'm still doing a website, but the way I'm going to package my offer is way different, because now I'm not just a random guy selling a website. I'm selling a specific solution to a problem. Of course, the work is still doing a website, but the customer will see a different value in it. And that's the point. Now, this brings me to step number 3. Let's get some customers. So of course, at this point, if you are dead broke, you don't have any money, there is no point putting money in ads. The only options you have is either cold calling, meaning taking your phone and just calling people all day long, or you could use outreach, which means sending cold DMs on Instagram, LinkedIn, emails, or even both. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to be very specific about who you are going to target. It's going to be way easier now because you already have your ideal customer, but you want to make sure your messaging is right. Now, most of the people are sending very big messages like this, and they just copy paste the same message from a lead to another. This is not at all how you open a conversation. I just give you an example on how I open a conversation. Let's say I'm reaching out to a restaurant. I just pretend I'm trying to book a table, right? A very big table. Hey, do you have a table for 10 tomorrow? So now you have the conversation opened and you want to say something like, hey, so how about me bringing you 10 customers in the next couple of days? And I will do all of that for free, right? So you just want to offer free trials. You don't want to charge anyone first where you don't have any experience. You want to work for free because you need to actually get some case studies and some results. At this point, you are going to jump on a call with your prospect. And on this call, you are basically going to introduce yourself, introduce the solution you have and why it's powerful. You are going to anchor the price of the solution. So if I deploy this solution in your business, it's going to cost you X, Y, Z. So you want to set a higher price for high expectations, but you also want to make sure they understand that you're going to do it all for free for the next 7 days. And then if they want to move forward, you just give them an offer. Of course, you want to schedule a second call 7 days after. The purpose of this call is going to assess the results of the free trial and just to amplify the results you got in 7 days alone, and so that the prospect can imagine what can actually happen if he pays you for a month. That's where your free trial strategy comes in. You want to find something easy to replicate that has a lot of perceived value. that you can just hand over to your customers. And during these 7 days, you want to follow your prospect as much as possible. You want to get touch points every single day. That's how you build a relationship. Now, once you start getting some response, you actually want to track your response rate and your call booking rate. At least 5% of the people you are talking to should be booking call. And once you have this, you just need more volume. That's where automations and AI will come in. And your only goal at this point is to send a minimum of 500 messages every single day. On the back end, you will start converting some people from free trial to your paid service. And whenever you convert someone, you just want to ask them if they know someone in their network that could benefit from your service. Just let them know that if they send you a client and you end up signing it, you'll just give them some commission or a discount on the next invoice. And of course, referrals means happy client. So you want to make sure you grab a video testimonial on the spot. Now, at this stage, you have identified your ideal customer. You know exactly what you're offering. You're sending at least 500 messages a day. You're getting on call with qualified people and turning them from free trial to paid trial. And you also have your customers sending you some referrals. So this is basically where it becomes risky because you're handling your acquisition, your calls, your delivery at the same time, and you're basically growing. So at this stage, you need to hire and automate. The first thing you need to automate is obviously your client acquisition. You want to make sure someone is taking care of your acquisition process. You should not be sending your outreach messages yourself anymore. So you could just hire a VA or a friend. It's not that complicated. You want to make sure that you save at least 4 hours a day and that someone is still sending at least 500 messages a day on your behalf. Next, you want to automate and structure your fulfillment. So you want to make sure that the quality of what you're offering is still top notch. That's where you start documenting everything. And that's where eventually you will hire someone to take care of the operations. So now you have your first couple of hires, which means also your first couple of expenses. And this is super sensitive because that's where you need cash flow. My best strategy to get cash flow upfront is to reach out to my actual customers and offer them an extended package at a discounted rate if they pay today. For instance, let's say I'm charging $10,000 for 12 months. What I will do is that I will just let my customer know that I'm running a special promotion and that I will be charging $8,000 upfront for 16 months of services. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm actually extending the value, but also reducing the price. The only requirement is for them to pay in full. That's how you can actually stack loads of cash to make sure you're not at risk. Now at this stage, that's where things are getting serious. You should have some decent cash in the bank. You have some sort of acquisition system in place. You also have some backend and fulfillment in place. And that's where you want to start putting things on fire. My favorite way of doing this is actually by running ads. When you start running ads, you are going to a super cold audience. People who don't know you, they don't trust you. And then obviously you need a lot of social proof. So before doing this, you want to make sure you connect as much case studies as possible and also as much video testimonials as possible. Once you have this, you just want to build a VSL funnel, a video that is 7 to 10 minutes long. This video will be specifically designed for your ideal customer. You should be saying who this is for. You should be clearly demonstrating what kind of problem you're solving, the results you have, the fact that you offer a free trial and a guarantee, and just invite people to book a call. And of course, add some urgency. Just say that you have limited slots and boom, you get some call booked. Of course, you want to make sure you follow up on these leads so they actually show up on the call, and you just want to use the same free trial structure. At some point when you start getting more and more calls, you just want to hire some sales reps and then you're done. That's pretty easy. The reason why I know it works is because it's exactly the same strategy I use for myself to actually build and sell 4 of my agencies. The one that I also use in my agency in France, Digital Brothers, that is actually doing over 450K a month in revenue. And the one I'm teaching to my French students in my client acquisition blueprint program, who is basically designed to help agency owners to go from 0 to 100K a month in retainers. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.